Hey, one and all, welcome to our reading session for today. And we are reading English 101. So, guys, I hope that each and every one of you are ready to read today. Please comment in the comment section and let us know where you're viewing from. And good morning to you, good evening, good night, good afternoon, whatever time it is where you are. We appreciate you being here always. Don't forget to start sharing the live. Share the live with someone who you know might just be interested in learning how to read English. Go ahead, guys, get active in our comment section and let's know where you're viewing from. Come on, get active. Right, so today, again, we are going to say hello to our new subscribers. Our new subscribers, we have Hema Singh, Yusan Madhu Kane, Nidhi G, and also Alicia Koka. Those are our four new subscribers. And we appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Hi, Sassy. How are you doing, Sassy? How is everything today? What are you up to, Sassy? Good night to you. I know that you are in India and it's nighttime where you are. Thank you so much for always being here, Sassy, to read. We always enjoy reading with you. And, Sassy always asks questions or she always comments, and that helps to make the life so, you know, more interesting. And we are grateful for that always. So, guys, get active like Sassy in the comment section. We would want to hear from you too. And do you guys like the new let me know if you like the new picture that we're using on the screen, the one that is actually on YouTube. Do you like that new background? Please let me know. Let me know if you like it. What do you think about it? We would appreciate hearing from you as always. All right, guys. So we are going to begin reading today. And in our reading session today, guys, we are actually going to be reading the story that we have been doing for about some days now. So we are going to read through that whole story. We are going to look to see if we can recall the words, which means we remember those words. And we are also going to be looking to see any mistakes that you are currently making that you will need help with. So all that is what we're going to be doing today. So come on, guys, get active, share the live out with someone who might just be interested in learning how to read English. And the story that we're going to cover is on my hobbies. All right. So this is our final reading practice on my hobbies. And, just for refreshment, guys, just for to see how much you remember. Can you remember what a hobby is? Let me know if you remember what a hobby is. So remember, hobbies is when it's mostly is sorry. Yes, hobbies is when it's more than one, and hobby is when it's only one. And hobby is something that you would do in the pastime. It is something that you would do for pleasure, for relaxation, just to allow time to pass. And it is something that you would enjoy, something that you have interest in. A hobby is, for example, swimming, it is running, it might be simply crafting, it might be art, it might be playing some sort of music, uh, instrument. It can be anything. So let me know, guys, what you think about hobbies and also what is your hobby, right? A lot of times we would have more than one hobby. So we have hobbies, but there would be one that would actually stand out. So let me know which hobby stands out for you, which hobby you are more interested in, which one you find more joy and happiness doing, and which one you actually spend a lot more time doing, right? So, for example, of all my hobbies, I think the one that I spend a lot of time doing is interacting. Of all my hobbies, interacting, that's the one I spend a lot of time doing. I read also, but I do not read as much as I interact. I do not read as much as I interact. So my most interesting hobby for me would be interacting with others, meeting new people, interacting with others. I read a lot too, but not as much as I interact. Traveling used to be one of my biggest hobby too, but these days I do not travel so much. I think creating is also one of my other big hobbies because on a day-to-day basis, I have to be creating all these slides for you guys to read and creating all these story pieces and so on. So creating, that's also a part of my hobbies, and it's something that I enjoy doing often, which means I do it a lot. So the word often means that you do something a lot. All right. So which hobby I would do seldomly? The hobby that I would do seldomly would be, I think, would be traveling because I hardly travel these days. So it means that that's the one that I would do least, or that's the one that I would not do so much. All right. So, guys, let's get into our reading practice. And that is where we are going to be practicing to read about hobbies. And today we are going to be reading fluently through our story. If you are interested in decoding the words, we have done multiple videos on all these slides to show how to decode all these words in English and how to really read these words in English, how to get the best pronunciation. We have done the American pronunciation and also the British pronunciation for the words. So feel free to go back to those previous videos so that you can get to really learn how to decode the words. If you're interested also in vocabulary, go back to those videos, the previous ones, so that you can learn the words, what they mean, and other phrases that you can use to say the same thing, or other words that you can use to say the same thing, which would be synonyms. So get active with that, guys, and just keep at it. Practice, 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 practice. That's exactly what you need to do. All right. And that's what I would keep emphasizing here, that you practice. All right. So without further ado, we are going to begin our English reading. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be reading through the whole story fluently. However, before I read through each slide, I would be careful to look for few words that I think you might still have problems calling, and I would call those words. If there's a word that you notice that I have not called, then I would want you to put the word in the comment section so I can call it for you because it is important that I call the words for you. So let's begin. Before we begin, let's see what Sassy says. Sassy says, I have pet birds, 12 cocktails, one gala, and cockatoo, pichu, and one beer-eyed cockatoo, and chinu. Ah, nice. So you keep birds. That's a great hobby. I really love animals. I think birds is one of them. And, I always wish to have a bird and to have a fish to keep as pets, but I have never had a bird before. I have had a fish before, but not a bird. So one day I hope I will be able to have one. Thank you so much for that, Sassy. So maybe that's your hobby that you enjoy taking care of your pets. That could be a hobby too. And that's very good. All right, guys. So now we are going to begin. Let's go to it. All right. We want to ensure that we cover some of the words. If there's a word that you want me to call, please type the word in the comment section because I may not call all the words that seem difficult on the screen. All right. But those that I know definitely you might have trouble calling, those are the ones that I'm going to focus on. All right. Do we have that? If we do, then let's begin. So this word, peaceful, we have peace and full. Peaceful. Our next word that you may have problems calling, listening. Listening. And the reason why is because the root word is listen. And when you add into it, you now drop the sound for the E. So you hear listen and ing, listening. So hence the reason why I would call this word for you, listening. Our next word, humming. Humming. Weather. Weather. Rustle. 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 Remember, the T in this one is silent, so is the E. Rustle. Gently, gently, gently. Remember, when G comes before E, I or Y, we hear a song like G. So we hear G. Gently. Our next word, five. Five. Yeah, the N silent, the I makes a long sound. I. Machine, machine, machine. And our other word, sewing, 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 sewing. Our next word, fire, fire, fire. Moments, moments, moments. Quiet, quiet, quiet. Solid, solid, solid. Rhythm, 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 rhythm. Stories, stories, stories. Dancing, dancing, dancing. All right, guys. So all the other words, I expect you to be able to call them. If you cannot call a word, please type it in the comment section. If you spot a word that you see there that you know, hey, I cannot call that word, it's your turn now to type it in the comment section so I can call that word. All right. But for now, these are the ones that I think that you might have some problems remembering. And that's because some of them, they do not spell as they sound. So let's go ahead and read the slide. Growing up, Michelle always found solace in the quiet moments, whether it was reading books and listening to the peaceful rustle of book pages or gently humming along to her grandpa's rhythm on the pipe or listening to the hum of her grandma's sewing machine while she made a scrap mat or better yet, sitting by the fireside telling stories and dancing. All right. If you were able to do that, then good job. You did awesomely well. Let's read it again. This time we are going to try to increase our fluency. Let's learn. Growing up, Michelle always found solace in the quiet moments, whether it was reading books and listening to the peaceful rustle of book pages, or gently humming along to her grandpa's reading on the chime, or listening to the hum of her grandma's sewing machine, while she made a scrap map, or better yet, sitting by the fireside, telling stories and dancing. Oh, how was that, guys? Was that better for you? I hope it was. All right, so we are going to be moving on to our next slide now. Keep those words in mind because some of those words might be words that might come again while we are reading on different slides. Always remember this is Michelle, the most popular pronunciation for that name in English, Michelle. Michelle. If you see it pronounced otherwise, it is fine to pronounce it otherwise because names, they do not follow rules. All right. If you want to hear before, the CH makes it sound like SH in the word or in the name. Sorry about that background noise, guys. All right, let's continue. Michelle was always full of glee, watching the rhythmic motion of the tap being spun in mud and the glowing of conch shells in her neighborhood. These moments awaken her creativity, exploring skills, and help her to learn new things. Little did he know these hobbies would eventually shape her life in a way she never imagined. All right, let's look for the words that seem very difficult to call them again before we read it. Rhythmic, 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 motion, 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 being, 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 blowing, 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 conch, conch, conch. That is the British pronunciation. However, if you're using American English, you would say conch, conch. All right? Neighborhood, neighborhood, neighborhood. Moments, moments, moments. Awaken, awaken, awaken. Creativity, creativity. Exploring, exploring, exploring. Skill, skill, skill. Learn, learn, learn. Little, little, little. Hobbies, hobbies, hobbies. Eventually, eventually, eventually. Shape, shape, shape. Light, light. Never, never. Imagine, imagine, imagine. All right. If you were able to quote all those words, what a wonderful job you have done. Let's keep going. So this time we're going to read, and when we read, we want to ensure that we read fluently, which means that we are able to read without mistakes. And we are able to also keep at a steady pace. If you're ready, then let me see Rosie in the comment section so that we can proceed or we can begin. All right, ready to go? Let's go. Ready? Let's go. Michelle was always full of glee, watching the rhythmic motion of a tap being spun in exploring skills and help her to learn new things. Little did she know these hobbies would eventually shape her life in a way she never imagined. How was that for you? Was that better? Did you have a good time reading through that slide? Do you think that you have improved? All right, so these are questions you should always ask yourself. All right, let's read it one more time. This is to ensure that we are on point. We're ready. When you're ready, type ready in the comment section so that we can begin. So, I'm ready. 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 Hi, let's begin. Michelle was always full of glee, watching the rhythmic motion of the tap being spun in mud and the blowing of conch shells in her neighborhood. These moments awakened her creativity, exploring skills, and help her to learn new things. Little did she know these hobbies would eventually shape her life in a way she never imagined. All right, so we are going to be reading it one more time. So guys, let's go ahead and read it one more time. Please guys, don't forget that we always want you to participate in the reading session. So be careful to always ensure that you are commenting if you want us to read, or if not, you can let us know what your needs are. All right, so let's begin one more time, guys. We are ready to go. Ready? Let's begin. Michelle was always full of glee, watching the rhythmic motion of a tap being spun in mud and the blowing of conch shells in her neighborhood. These moments awaken her creativity, exploring skills, and help her to learn new things. Little did she know these hobbies would eventually change her life in a way she never imagined. All right, were you able to read it that fluent? Is there a word that you want me to recall? Let me know in the comments. All right, so we're going to also be calling these words now, and we're going to see if we can remember them. Music, music, begun, began, tender, tender. Remember, if you're using the American pronunciation, you say tender, tender. For me, with the British pronunciation, I'll say tender, tender, because the ER is pronounced as a schwa sound in British, while the Americans would give it a longer sound, tender. Age, watched, watched. Grandfather, grandfather. Always remember that the T in watched is silent. Grandfather. Talented, talented. The talent, when you add ed, because it ends with T, we hear the it sound. Talented, talented. Musician, musician, musician. Dedicated, dedicated. Performing, performing, performing. Different, different, different. Bands, bands, bands. Across, across. Europe, Europe. Remember, the E in Europe is silent. So we hear U and R, and then we hear up, up. So the O makes a short sound, up. The E at the end, silent. Europe. Early, early, early. 1990s, 1990s. Grandma, grandma. Beautifully, beautifully, beautifully. Remember, if you're using American pronunciation, you'll hear beautifully, beautifully. So their T, they would not really pronounce the T like that. So beautifully, beautifully. Craft, craft. The American pronunciation, jewelry, jewelry, and it spells different too. So always remember, American, you hear jewelry. However, the British, you will hear jewelry, jewelry, jewelry. Our next one, quilts, quilts, quilts. As we keep going, our next word, clothing, clothing, clothing. Paints, paints. Natural, natural. Scenes, scenes, scenes. Remember, whenever C come before EIY, a lot of times you hear a song like S. So there you have two S songs. So you just simply make one song. Scenes. All right. If you think now you can call all those words, then thumbs up to you because we're going to be reading through it to ensure that we have all the pronunciations together. Are you ready? Because are you ready? Yes, so let's go. Michelle's love for music and art began at a very tender age. She has watched her grandfather, who is a talented musician, dedicate a lot of his time to performing in different live bands across Europe in the early 90s. So, in the early 90s, or you can say 1990s. While her grandma beautifully crafted jewelry for American pronunciation, jewelry for the British pronunciation, quilts and other clothing. He also painted natural scenes. All right, good. So let's keep going. Let's read one more time. And this time we're going to try to be very fluent as we can. So let's begin. Are you ready, guys? Let's go. Michelle's love for music and art began at a very tender age. She was she has watched her grandfather, who is a talented musician, dedicate a lot of his time to performing in different live bands across Europe in the early 1990s. While her grandma beautifully crafted jewelry, American pronunciation, jewelry, British pronunciation, quilts, and other clothing. D, sorry, he also paints natural scenes. Guys, don't forget, like me, you would realize that you would make mistakes in English while you're reading. All right? Because I read in English every day as a speaker of English. And trust me, when you're reading sometimes, your mind can actually read before you. Sometimes you omit words, which means you leave out those words or you delete those words from the story while you're reading. Or sometimes you may insert words, which means you put in new words, words that are not in stories. Sometimes you even substitute the words, and it may not be because you cannot read. It may just be sometimes because you are not fully paying attention to what you are reading close enough. So sometimes the word looks like another word and you call another word instead. Or sometimes because of your pace, it can allow you to go a bit too fast. So sometimes you find yourself like reading a bit too fast, so instead you call an invert word. So that's why reading needs so much practice. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do all the time. I'm encouraging you to just keep practicing. All right, so we're going to reread that and we're going to try to keep to the pace, keep to that reading. All right, so let's go together. Michelle's love for music and art began at a very tender age. She has watched her grandfather, who is a talented musician, dedicate a lot of his time to performing in different live bands across Europe in the early 1990s, while her grandma beautifully craft jewelry, American pronunciation, jewelry, British pronunciation, quilts, and other clothing. He also paints natural scenes, and this should be painted. Remember, our story is in the past tense, so this should be painted natural scenes. Okay, or here we could have used the word sceneries. All right, good. So that's just for some enhancement on your writing. If you add that person who likes to write. All right. So if you think you have all this, then you are doing a good job. Is there any word that you wish for me to recall in this section so that you can practice the pronunciation? Type it in the comment section. Remember, whenever this word comes before a word that begins with a vowel, we always use the pronunciation D. D. Whenever it comes before a word that begins with a consonant, we use da. Da. All right. So the vowel would make a difference in you using D or da. D, when it comes before a vowel, a word that begins with a vowel. Da, when it comes before a word that begins with a consonant. Let's read it one more time. If there's any word that you want me to recall, please type that word in the comment section so I can recall the word for you. Remember, we're all here to improve, and so I'll try my best to always do it right for you. So this is our last reading of this section. I'm not seeing anyone typing any words. So it means that you guys have all the pronunciation. Thumbs up. Good job. Michelle's love for music and art began at a very tender age. She has watched her grandfather, who is a talented musician, dedicate a lot of his time to performing in different live bands across Europe in the early 1990s, while her grandma beautifully crafted jewelry or jewelry, quilts, and other clothing. He also painted natural scenes, or we were saying it's the sceneries. However, the word here is scenes. All right, guys. Good job. If you did that, good job. Give yourself a pat on the shoulder. If I can imagine how well you just did. That's so sweet. All right, so let's keep going. And now we're going to be reading. We're going to be reading again. And now we're going to read the words that you don't have problems spelling. Passion, passion, visual, visual, grew, grew, watched, watched, grandmother, grandmother, daily, daily, bringing, bringing, creativity, creativity, life, life, grandmothers, grandmothers. And you see apostrophe S there? Grandmothers. Influence, influence, influence. Strong, strong. Fascinated, fascinated. Grandmothers. Painting, painting. Sketches, sketches. Beautifully, beautifully. Remember, the Americans, most likely, you'll hear the pronunciation beautifully, beautifully. Transform, transform. Intricate, intricate. Design, designs. Within, within. Few, few. Hours, hours. Forming, forming. Them, them. All right, so if you have all those words together, then I think we're ready to read. So, guys, let's begin to read English. Let's keep reading English. It's so much fun to read English. Let's go ahead. Michelle's passion for visual arts grew as she watched her grandmother daily bringing her creativity to life. Her grandmother's influence was strong. She was fascinated by the way her grandmother's paintings, sketches, beautifully transformed into intricate designs. Within a few hours of forming them. All right, let's start again. Remember, you already have the words. All you have to do is to just read through. And remember, we learned how to read in phrases. So you have to practice that to get your deep breaths in also. Remember? So let's go. Michelle's passion for visual arts grew as she watched her grandmother daily bringing her creativity to life. Her grandmother's influence was strong. She was fascinated by the way her grandmother's painting sketches beautifully transformed into intricate designs within a few hours of forming them. How was that, guys? Let's try it out one more time. And this time we're going to try to read at a faster pace, and we're going to try to read a bit more quickly. All right? And before, and do I expect you to remember them? I'm still giving you the pronunciations for them. So the people were not here at that time. You can go back to videos that you've done. Hi, Chongmin. How are you doing? What is not good, Chongmin? Tell us. Thank you for being here. Tell us where you're from. Where you're from, Chongmin. Tell us. And tell us what is not good. We're always open to hear or to listen to what our viewers have to say. So let's begin again. Michelle's passion for visual arts grew as she watched her grandmother daily bring her creativity to life. Her grandmother's influence was strong. She was fascinated by the way her grandmother's painting sketches beautifully transformed into intricate designs within a few hours of forming them. Okay, guys. So there we have that reading. And remember, if anyone wants to come up on screen to read, you can always do so by just letting us know in the comment section, because the link is in the comment section that you can click on to come up on screen to read. All right. So, Charlie, I'm waiting on you to tell me what is not good. Or is okay. Let's go again. Michelle's passion for visual arts grew as she watched her grandmother daily bring her creativity to life. Her grandmother's influence was strong. She was fascinated by the way her grandmother's painting sketches beautifully transformed into intricate designs within a few hours of forming them. All right, so remember our keywords to remember how to talk: passion, visual, and remember in visual, when you're spelling, here the S is making a sound like SH. So yes, all right, visual. In passion, it's the same thing. The SI makes it sound like SH. So in spelling, you have to remember that it is not SH, but a different combination that makes that sound. In watch, the T silent, please remember that. The CH makes the ch sound. In grandmother, the TH makes it sound like D. So the grandmother, and here the ER, British English, American English, So Americans would say grandmother, and the British would say grandmother. All right, so it's a short song at the end. In creativity, always remember that the Y at the end makes it sound like E. However, remember for spelling purposes, it is a Y. And in create, always remember the E makes a sound, the A also makes a sound. All right, so we get creativity. Our next word to be very mindful of is influence. Whenever C comes before E, I, or Y, at the end we get some S. So whenever you're spelling, always remember at the end here, it's S making a sound and not a C. All right? Other words that we should be very mindful of when we're spelling: the word sketch, the T silent. So yes, sketch, we do not hear the T sound. Be very mindful of that. And remember, it's ES added at the end to make it more runny round. This is what we hear make the E sound, and not the word is. In the word beautiful, remember that The EAU makes the sound U because the EA is silent and the U makes the sound. So we have U, then T, the T, and then we have to. And the E at the end, it's actually Y making its sound. What other words should we be mindful of? Design. With the word design, we hear I, the G silent, and then the M. So when you're spelling, always remember that the G there is silent. So you got to remember to put that G or your spelling will be incorrect. The word hours, remember, the H is silent too. So when you're spelling it, the hour as in time, remember that there is a silent H at the beginning. If you're spelling hour as in something that belongs to myself, to you, and also others, then you're using the word ours in that case. Here is that small word. Also, remember the you in the word is silent. The you in the word is silent. So it's the O and R that makes the sound O. So whenever you're spelling, be sure to insert the silent U between the O and R. All right, so I think you have the basics of the words in terms of what to remember, the key things to remember when spelling the words to get them correct. Remember, we want your spelling to also be on top. Okay, so let's keep going. Now, yesterday, as promised, I promised you guys that I'll show you something that I have created. So this is a piece that I did, and seeing that you're talking about painting and art and all that, I decided to show you this. So it says, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Psalms chapter 16 and verse 3. All right. So if we commit our works, whatever we do, unto God, then He would establish or He would start. When we establish something, it means He would start or He would launch or He would put thoughts within our minds. All right. So He would establish them. He would make them become into being. And that's from Psalms chapter 16 and verse 3. So for those of you who here who really love God, always remember this scripture. So were you ever able to create a piece like this, or have you ever done some art before? Remember, we're talking about art, visual art. That's art that you can see. That is where you would normally create images or drawings that can be seen, and you would do so by using your imagination or by coming up with ideas that are original to you. Or you can also look at others' drawings or art and likewise just copy what we have done. All right. So in this case, I copied this part of it here. I copied this part, which means that this is a piece of work that I have seen online and I just liked this part of it. And so I decided to add this part to it. But the other parts are quite original, right? Which means the other parts were my ideas. I mean, the scripture comes from the Bible, from God's word, but it was my thought to really put it on here. Ah, Sassy saying add more words in the topic. Okay, I'll try to add more words to it. Yeah. And you see, I have birds here, Sassy. That's how I told you. I love to see birds. So I was sure to make sure I put birds in it. Yeah, so you guys, please let me know if you like it. What you think about it. Do you like it? Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you guys think about my painting. All right, guys. So we're going to be continuing, but I'm happy that I was able to take a picture with it to show you guys today as we read the story. All right, so let's continue. So the words that we're going to find difficult for here would be Michelle, grandmother. And guys, remember to comment in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about my painting, okay? Please let me know how you feel about the painting. So let's keep going. Retired. Retired. Remember the easy here makes the song into. And then here, air. All right? I say air. So here, retired, 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 retired. Then we have 1979. Remember always to break the year whenever you're reading years. You can break them like that. 1979. Being, being. Proprietor, proprietor. So here, proprietor, proprietor. Remember the I makes a long song. So here, pro, here, cry, and here, short sound, and t, et, and o. Proprietor. Remember, a proprietor is somebody who owns a business or somebody who owns a property or a company. You can call that person a proprietor. Our next word, painting. Continent, continent. And company, the Y at the end makes the E sound, continent. Our next word, realized, realize. Remember, there's V, as in that combination at the beginning that creates a prefix. When you hear R, and the R makes a long I sound, puts the E at the end, silent. So you will realize, then you add the ED sound, you would add the G sound. So realize the next word, could, could. Remember when you are reading the word could, the D is silent. So we have could. For spelling purposes, always remember UL after the word. On the word would, will be a word that rhymes with that and then is spelled similar. The next word, hubby. The Y at the end makes the E sound. Two B's make the same sound, so we make one sound for them. Hubby. Our next word, business. Remember, in business, the U makes a sound like short I, so we hear the A, and then the S makes a sound like Z. Remember, when S comes before a vowel or after a vowel, a lot of times it can make a sound like Z or Z. If you use American English, you say Z. For me, we use the British English, I say Z. All right? So biz, the I silent, and then you get me, S. Two S make the same sound, you make one sound. So you have B is, and ness. Business, business, business. All right? So always remember that I when you're spelling. Remember, it's U and S that is making the is sound there. That's a rare combination, but guys, English is such a funny language that you get sometimes the rarest or the most funny combination with the words. That's why you have to learn some words by sight. For example, a word as like business, it's good to learn that word by sight. Our next word, up, you hear port, that small word, you, when you make a long song, and then we hear me, it, and in. The Y at the end makes the E sound. Remember, Y at the end makes E sound in longer words. So we hear opportunity, upport. When we hear you, the me and it and in. Opportunity, opportunity. All right, our next word, cap, it, R, capital. And then, just like realize, we hear the I, making the I sound. It's the same thing, but yeah, the in silence. So the I, the vowel that comes before, makes a long sound. So we hear I. So we hear capital, eyes, eyes. But yeah, the end is silent. When we add the ED sound, we hear D. So capitalized, capitalized, capitalized. I remember, guys, we have already covered vocabulary for these words. I'm just breaking down the longer ones because Sassy asked for me to break them down, but they have been done previously. I have decoded these words in a previous video. So previous videos. So you can go back and look at the previous videos for the vocabulary and also for more details on the decoding of these words in English. All right, our next word, stepped, stepped. So the ED makes the t sound. Always remember in English, a lot of the times whenever words are there, these words, they end with a vowel comes before the ending sound. A lot of times these would be the ones that would double the letter. All right. If you notice those that double the letter, there's a vowel coming before the ending sounds. So whenever the vowel comes before the ending sounds, that's when the letter will be doubled. So that's a rule for you to remember for spelling purposes. And when I say the letters will be double, it means that there will be two of the letters. Okay, so you just add another one in case you are not familiar with what double means. Double means two. All right, our next word, yeah, the end silent, we get O. So we say roll, roll, roll. And the next word, im, me, d, e, and a. So yeah, the end silent, so we get eight, eight. So we can just put this back together to say eight. A lot of English words ends with eight. That past tense for the word eat. So you can spot them, especially longer words. So we get in, me, d, a, eight, immediate. And then we get lead, immediately. Remember, in longer words, when ly is added, the y will make it in sound. So immediately, immediately. Our next word, grandmothers, grandmothers. The apostrophe here shows us that grandmother owns something. Our next word, this one you have to be very careful with it because remember, two letters that are the same, a lot of times they will make one sound, but there's some words where they make their own song, their individual song. This is a word like that. So in this one, we hear up, we hear the C here says k. Then this other C goes here to say s because it comes before E. So we hear song like S. So we hear suck, s, and S. S. Two S make one sound, so we only make that sound. We hear s, S, says. Put it together, we hear success. Then we add OR, making the OR sound. So it's a successor, successor, successor. All right. So always remember when you're blending, try to get your blending on point. Successor, successor. Our next word, the OUGH, makes the sound O. The OU make the sound, the GH is silent. So it's Funny that OU can make the sound or in this word, but that's how it is, guys. English can be very funny. So we're accustomed to the O and the U and those sounds that OU make, but hardly are we accustomed to O. But here, that's a song we hear when GH is added to it. The GH is silent. A lot of the times in English, when GH is at the ending of a word or in the middle of a word, it is silent. All right. In some words, like laugh, you would hear a F sound first. So you have to be careful. Not all times at the end, it will be silent. Okay. So we hear b or t, b or bought, bought. And this bought is like the past tense for the word buy. Because I know a lot of you may mix up brought with the R is when you bring something, the past tense for bring, but bought is the past tense for buy it. All right, so try not to mix them up. Some persons would mix them up all the time. Our next word, we hear me, odd, mud, and then earned, modern, modern. So something is modern means it's new or it's up to date or that thing is the latest. What do you have that is the latest stars? You have the latest game, the latest watch. Go ahead and tell me. All right. Our next word, tool, tools, tools. The two O's make the new sound. Our next word, new. With the EW here makes the new sound. We have new, new, news. And new and modern means the same thing. All right. So those are two synonyms right here in the story. Our next word is fun. And then we have a short I sound. And then CH sound is what we hear for the T, ch, and the other end is silent. So we have fun, ch, furniture, furniture. In English, you can simply say the TURE makes the ch sound, like in the word picture, capture, and those words, you can see it makes the ch sound, the ch sound, the ch sound. Yeah, so you can put it all together as a combination, chop. Our next word, enhance. See at the end, before E, the E silent, the C makes sound like S. So we hear enhance, enhance. So you see that small word there, enhance. And the final word on this one is studio. So we hear SNT together, stu. The U makes a U sound, so we hear stu, food. And then we hear A and O. So the short I sound and the long O sound. So here, remember when two vowels come together, the two of them can make a sound. Sometimes the first one makes a sound, second one stays silent, or the second one makes a sound, first one stays silent. A lot of times when they make a sound together, one will make a long sound and the next one make a short sound. Or in some cases, like in the word create, they would both make long sounds. Okay? So that's for you to remember. So we have st, food, A and O. Studio. Studio. Good. So I guess we can read through this now. Can we? Let's go ahead and try it. Are we ready to go? We are ready, ready, ready. Are we ready to go? Yeah, we're ready. Let's begin. When Michelle's grandmother retired in 1979 from being the proprietor of her painting company, Michelle realized that she could turn her painting hobby into a business opportunity. So she capitalized on it and stepped into the role immediately as her grandmother's successor. She bought some modern painting tools and new furniture to enhance the studio. How was that, guys? Well, that was just us practicing through the story. Now it's time for us to really focus on being really fluent and ensuring that we are reading at a steady pace. So let's try to keep the pace steady. Let's begin. When Michelle's grandmother retired from, sorry guys, let's start again. When Michelle's grandmother retired in 1979 from being the proprietor of Paul Painting Company, Michelle realized that she could turn her painting hobby into a business opportunity. So she capitalized on it and stepped into the role immediately as her grandmother's successor. She bought some modern painting tools and new furniture to enhance the studio. Give a thumbs up to you're able to do that. Right, I can imagine what it takes to do that, right? I can really imagine. And you know what? You are improving. I know that you are improving. Because, right, reading English is not one of the easiest things to do. But because you've been practicing, I can see the improvement. Okay? So I may not scare you, but I may see it. And that's why I want you guys to do a bit brave well. When you come up and you read, you really believe me, guys. All right? So you can just send the request by hitting the link in the comments. There's a link at the top. You go to the top of the comments and then hit that link and come up and read. Practice reading it aloud. And that will help you. And I can be here to help you correct your mistakes. You do not have to show your camera, and you guys just use your audio. You'll be fine. When Michelle's grandmother retired in 1979 from being the proprietor of her painting company, Michelle realized that she could turn her painting hobby into a business opportunity. So she capitalized on it and stepped into the role immediately as her grandmother's successor. She bought some modern painting tools and new furniture to enhance the studio. All right. So that was us keeping pace. And that would help you a lot to understand what you're reading. If you were able to do that, good job. Good job. So let's go to our next slide. All right, let's call the words here. That might be difficult for you to call. Spent, we, remember two E's, make the E sounds. And spent, we hear end, that ending in a lot of English words. Our next word, decorating. So we hear d, ek, dec, or, and then we hear the ACA because normally this would end with eight, like that eight in the word that was in previously. So the E would be silent and the E would say A. And then we hear the sound. So decorate, and then we add in. Decorating. Decorating. Studio, we just completed that word. Stu. The unit that we sound. Stu. Then we hear A, the short I sound, and long O. Studio. Studio. The next word, act. Sure. Act is the small word act, attract. And then we say A. The E at the end, silent. Though the E is at the end silent, the I makes a short sound. In other words, it can make that long sound where we hear I. All right? So whenever you see this ending in English, it can be if or I. Okay. So the word is attractive. Attractive. Next, we have could, all, cull. Then we have all. Remember, the U is silent. Whenever we see O-U-R, so it's O-R, we hear it. And that's the way that the Americans spell it, with O-R. The British English spell it with O-U-R. Okay, so color, color. You add S, we have colors, colors. So keep in mind when spelling that it has U between the O and the R. But the U is silent. And the next word we hear give and ing. Giving, giving. Our next word O. The OW makes the O sound O. So always remember it's OW and not just words. Touch, touch. OU here makes the O sound. So we have to, our, sorry, to, ch, but sorry guys, in touch, we do not hear our, we hear right? So basically the song that we hear there is the you making the song. So the O is basically silent. So we have to touch, touch. All right. So sorry about that, guys. That was my bad with the pronunciation there. So we have to touch. The you making the sound that is silent. And that's what I was telling you about for you. For you has a different sounds. It has O, it has O, it has O, and it also says all those sounds. Four different sounds. Then we have N, sh. Here we hear a SH sound for the S, and sh. The UR makes a sound so we get N sh, and then we hear ING ing. So we would say N sh, or, and ing, ensure, ing, ensuring. So what word is ensuring? Ensuring. When you make sure that something happened or you make certain something happened, you ensure it. All right. So ensure, the root word that ends with the E, which would be silent. So ensure and in. Ensuring. In this word now we get every. The Y makes an E sound. The E here is silent. So we get ev, and we get re and in. Every. Every. One thing, we get our tongue between our teeth. And then we get in thing. So put the two words together, everything. Always remember how to spell everything. That one here is silent. You gotta remember to put that in spell. So it's good to write these words out on a daily basis so you can learn how to spell them. That would be like you practicing how to spell them. So after a time, you do not have to remember that the E is silent and all that. The word becomes automatic to you. And that's what I move on to help out. Our next word is I. The GH is silent, so the word I. Always remember, you do not hear the GH sound, but you have to remember it's there. It goes with the I to make the I sound. In English, this is actually a combination, IGH making the I sound. So that's one that you need to learn. Okay? Then we have the word is right, right, right. And this right is like when something is correct or when you go to your right, the direction of going to your right. All right. So you have scoop. Yeah, the N silent. We hear the A, the long sound. C comes before E, we hear the sound. So we say ace, ace, ace. Always remember it's a C making the S sound there. And the other end, it's silent. So our word is space, space. Space is anything that area that is available where nothing is there or occupying it. We call that a space. Our next word, me, et, me. Then we have it, matic. The U makes along the song. You hear you, matic you. And then you hear you. The OUS is us. The O is silent. So meticulous. And then you hear you. And then the longer words, the Y at the end makes the E sound. So a word is meticulously, meticulously. And that means when you do something very carefully, when you go through it thoroughly, taking your time and ensuring that it is being done well, or when you do something carefully, paying attention to details, you would say that you did it meticulously. Our next word, food, E, A, and then to create, the E is signed, but the song for the ED would be D. Whenever words end with T or D in English, the song for the ED, when it's added to make the past tense, would be id. So we hear create, id, created. So our word is create, create, indeed, created. And to create something means that you bring it into existence or that you start it from scratch, you make it original. That's a good one. And the next word is true, ib, trib. The U makes a long sound, which means that the end silent, so we hear you. The trib, new, trib, new, tribute, tribute. And we know tribute is where you honor someone or where you give someone a word or a gift, and this would show your care for them. It would also show that they have completed, and something that they've been doing. So they have achieved something. And this is how we would offer a tribute. Our next word we get A, as in ARE, making the song A. Sorry, the A making the song A. Then you hear U, then you hear the E say E, and then A. So we hear A, U, E, and A. Area. So one is being said as area, and one is being said as area. So we hear air, and then we hear the E, then go back to the E, and then A. So air, and then the tortoise and the air, where AR in the song air, like in the word here. So air, and then here E, and then area. Area would be the American pronunciation, and area the British pronunciation. All right, then. Our next word. Let's keep going. So we already know this one. Good. And then we have new or d, th. The sound of this one in her. So we have mother, mother, mother. All right. So let's keep going, guys. And remember, grandmother is the bigger mother because grand means big or large. So grandmother would be your mother's mother, father's mother, or your parents' mother. You would call that person your grandmother. Right. What other word? So let's see. Our next word is um. The energy means so here. Hung, hung. And that's the past tense for the word hang. Like when you attach something at the top, steadying it, and then you allow the bottom part to just go free or to dangle, you would say that you hung something. So that's the past tense for the word hang. Our next word is mm, this TI makes the sound like SH, just like SI makes the sound like SH. So we hear in and sh, and then we hear in. It's like in the word spent, we hear ent. Always keep that combination in mind, ENT making the sound ent, because it's a normal combination that you'll find in English words. So we hear in and sh, ancient. When something is ancient, it means that that thing is of the past or it's a bygone, or it is something that is from a long time ago, or something that is very old that you would call ancient. That's right. We have already learned the word painting. The AI makes the sound the A, because the A makes the sound, the I is silent. Then we hear me, paint, and then we add ing, in, painting. Then we have the small word B, and then we have L, or long. You can see the small word long here. When something has a lot of length, long, so be long, and then the ED will make the D sound. Always remember, whenever there's a voice sound at the end of the word, so the word ends with G, and we can hear that sound, you would add the D sound for the ED. So we hear belonged, belonged. When something belongs, it means that that thing, right? So it's for something to belong. It means that it is owned by you or it is your possession. All right. So next word, we have done this word before, grandmother. All right. So now it's time for us to be able to read through the story, as in read through this part of the story, and then we are going to try to do it fluently. Then we're going to read through all of the slides again one more time without calling the words to see how much you remember. So let's begin. Ready? If you're ready, type ready in the comments. Let's begin. Michelle spent a week decorating her studio with lots of attractive colors, giving it her own touch by ensuring that she had everything in the right space. She meticulously created a tribute area for her grandmother, where she hung an ancient painting that belonged to her grandmother. Were you able to read through that fluently? Let's check again. Let's do it one more time. Michelle spent a week decorating her studio with lots of attractive colors, giving it her own touch by ensuring that she had everything in the right space. She meticulously created a tribute area for her grandmother where she hung an ancient painting that belonged to her grandmother. Were you able to do that? If you were, type yes in the comment section, then give yourself a thumbs up or give yourself a pat on the back. Guys, I imagine you can do that and you did it very well. Let's go through it one more time. Then we have one final slide, and then we're going to read all from the top, just going one after the other, right? To ensure that we have our fluency on point. Let's begin. Michelle spent her week decorating her studio with lots of attractive colors, giving it her own touch by ensuring that she had everything in the right space. She meticulously created a tribute area for her grandmother where she hung an ancient painting that belongs to her grandmother. Were you able to do that, guys? I'm sure you were. All right, so we have one more slide to go. And then after this slide, we're going to be reading all from the top. Just going one slide after the other to see how much we can remember. It's fine if you cannot remember all. This is a lot, especially if you know John, because we did all these each in one day, one day, one day, one day until it was finished. I think we had 8 parts. So you can go back and see the 8 parts to see the decoding of the words because I did decoding for all of the words, right? If that's something we need to practice. All right, let's begin. So here, and then we get is. So the S here makes this sound, not like is. Okay? So even though you see it looks like is, you kind of put is because the S is making a sound and not a Z sound. All right? So this, our word here is this. And this would mean when you have something close to you, that's when you would say this. If it's far away from you, then you will say that. So you need to just learn the difference with using the word Michelle's, grandmothers. The apostrophe S shows that grandmother here owns something. Our next word first, we have the IR, make the sound first, and the SNT first. Then our next word, ow, a word. So we hear ow, and then we hear odd, a word. Okay? And next word, in. The two end with the same sound, so we make one song, and then we add ing in, winning. Hinting, we have been doing the word over and over. So we have put in it, the I silent, the in is a song. Then we have neat, so we have paint, and then we see ink, just like we saw ink in the word clean. So painting. Our next word, N, gur, A, the other end, silent. So we have the A with a long sound. So we get engrave, that's the root word. When you add ed, because we can hear the V sound at the end as a last sound, then you have to use the D sound because that sound, song is a voice song. So whenever it's a voice song, we will use the D sound. So engraved. And when something is engraved, it means that we put or we have a design or a text on the surface of something. All right. So for those of you who do not know what engraved means. Okay, our next word, words. We hear or, words, grandma. So we have grand, we've learned that, and then we have grandma. And grandma is the same as saying grandmother. It's the shortened form for grandmother. Our next word, it rhymes with engrave. So we say put a, the other end is silent. So we hear the long is sound, but the vowel is. We hear put a cave. Remember, we can hear the song as the last song. When you can hear the song, the voice song, it means that you would add d for the ed sound. So here, paved, same for engraved. You hear the d sound. All right. Our next word, we hear go, but O makes a long sound. And then we add in, just like we did in the word painting and winning. So go in, going. Our next word, we are in silence. We say A for the A sound. So we hear mean A, me. All right. This word now we hear X, like when something is the former or something is the past or gone. We would say X, and then we have true E because we have the N is silent, so the E that comes before will make the long sound E. So the last song here in the word is me. So we get extreme, and this is the root word. Now we are adding lead. So the Y makes the E sound. So we are extremely, extremely. Right? And when you're talking about something being extremely, it means that this thing is at a high degree or this thing is great. All right. So I'm just giving you the meanings for the words that are the bigger words. Then poor, when you out, so we get poor out, proud, proud. And when you're proud of something, you can just simply say that it's something that makes you happy or something that you feel so much satisfaction about, or and this satisfaction is maybe as a result of your achievement, things that you have gained or things that you have done. Our next word we do act, then we have to and actor, actor. Then we have this word again, do, ek, the, core, the core, and then we have e. Remember, this word actually ends with e, so the e is silent, so the e will make the e sound. Decorate. So the last song we hear is the t sound, and then we add ing. Decorating, decorating, yes, decorating. Our next word, stu. The u makes a sound stood, and get stood, and then a, study, and then o, studio, studio. So our word here is studio, studio. Now, what is a studio? We've done that word over and over. Studio is actually a workspace or workroom. It is a room where production happens, or even in cases where you study or you work, you can say, call that space that you work in your studio. Studio is also referred to an apartment that has one room, and in that one room you have everything: the bathroom, the um, kitchen, the living room, everything is in that one room. Our next word, soon, O, O-W-O, then we have U and E. So our root word is slow, O, slow, and then we have slowly, slowly. When we do something slowly, it means that we do this thing little by little, that we do it as though we're not hurry. So we do not go fast, we go slow. That's fast would be the opposite of slow. Our next word we hear s, and then k. The K sound for sk. So we hear sk. This is a small word and to and make the same sound, we just join them together. Scan and in. So you have scan, in, scanning, scanning. To scan something means to observe it or to uh, inspect it or to study it or to like really look at it very carefully. That would mean that you're scanning it. Then we hear a, r, and then we hear ow, around. So our word is around, around. So a, r, and then we're around, around. When something's around, it means that it goes completely circling that way. Then we hear s, so this we hear s, and then r. Put it all together as a trigraph. We hear screw, e, to the e and a together, e. The a silent, it makes a sound. Scream, scream, because we can hear the m sound at the end. This is screamed, screamed. And to scream would mean to make a loud song or cry. And next is owl. We can put this together to spell the word out. Out, shout. And then because it's T at the end, the ED would make the id sound. So we're shouting, shouted, shouted. Guys, you're doing it so fun. And here we have the end silent, the E makes the short sound, so we get ah. So we will say have, have. And then our next word, O-W-O, own, own. So the O-W makes the O sound. And our last word, we completed this word before. This word says boo. Remember the U makes the short I sound A, The S makes the Z sound, so we hear Z, and then we hear nothing for the I, so silent, and then we hear N, S, two S together. So we hear ness. This is ness. It's a popular ending for English words. It's actually a suffix. Ness is a suffix, so we hear ni, s, ness. When we put it together, we hear biz and mess, business. Always remember for spelling purposes, the US is what is making the A's sound here. All right. And the I is silent. So you have to remember to add them. So I would encourage you to write this word business out about 10 times for 2 days or 3 days. And after that, I'm thinking that you remember how to spell it, how to call it, and that would help you a lot because you won't want to forget that. All right, so now that we've covered all the words, we're going to read right through. Let's begin. This was Michelle's grandmother's first award winning painting. She engraved it with the words, Grandma, you are the one that saved the way for me, and I'm going to make you extremely proud. After decorating the studio and slowly screamed and shouted, I did it. I have my own business. All right, guys, were you able to do that? And how do you feel about that? Let's do it one more time. This was Michelle's grandmother's first award winning painting. She engraved it with the word, Grandma, you are the one that paved the way for me, and I'm going to make you extremely proud. After decorating the studio and slowly scanning around it, she screamed and shouted, I did it! I have my own business. Oh, guys, how was that? All right. So, guys, you see the word business? That word is also pronounced as business, business, right? So, the pronunciation, a lot of native speakers would say business, business. All right, let's go ahead now and let's read it one more time from the top, from the top. I hope that this time you'll be very fluent if you are not so fluent. And then after that, guys, it's time to read the whole story right from the top to the end. All right, and then we'll stop there for the bit. So let's go ahead and let's read through it one more time. Ready? You're ready? Say ready. Let's go. This was Michelle's grandmother's first award winning painting. She engraved it with the words, Grandma, you are the one that stood the way for me, and I'm going to make you extremely proud. After decorating the studio and slowly scanning around it, she screamed and shouted, I did it. I have my own business. Okay, guys, one more time. 'Cause a lot of these words, some of them can be difficult to call. And then after that, we're going to go on the top. This was Michelle's grandmother's first award-winning painting. She engraved it with the words, Grandma, you are the one that stood the way for me, and I'm going to make you extremely proud. After decorating the studio and slowly scanning around it, she screamed and shouted, I did it! I have my own business. Hey guys, how do you guys feel? Let me know how you feel in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about all that you have read. How do you feel? Do you think that you're able to read through the whole story now? on this video because we're going to read from this up. Expecting you to be able to read most of it. I'm not going to say all of it, right? But I hope that you will continue to practice in your own spare time. You can rewatch the video for the breakdown or the decoding of the English words and see how well you did all them. All right. This was a part that I've added to it. So this part, I'll read it to the end of the story. I'll not necessarily break it down, but if you want me to do a separate video on breaking this down, I would do that for you. So we're going to rewind from the top so that we can read all the words from the top of the story. That's what we want to do. So guys, I'm just going to extend this screen a bit just to get the words off. Yeah. And so that it can be ready. So that you do a battery check. Also, okay. The battery equals. All right. So let's practice to read in English about my hobbies. And this is a story that we're going to read now in English about my hobby. You're going to be reading through the story fluently. So you have completed all the words before in previous videos. Now it's time for us to read through fluently. Are you ready? Guys, are you ready? Guys, are you ready? I'm sure you're ready. Let's go. I'm ready. Let's go. Growing up, Michelle always found solace in the quiet moments, whether it was reading books and listening to the peaceful rustle of book pages or gently humming along to her grandpa's rhythm on the pipe or listening to the hum of her grandma's sewing machine while she made a scrap mat, or better yet, sitting by the fireside telling stories and dancing. Michelle was always full of glee watching the rhythmic motion of a tarpaulin spun in mud and the blowing of conch shells in her neighborhood. These moments awaken her creativity, exploring skills, and help her to learn new things. Michelle, sorry, little did she know these hobbies would eventually shape her life in a way she never imagined. Michelle's love for music and art began at a very tender age. She has watched her grandfather, who is a talented musician, dedicate a lot of his time to performing in different lifetimes across Europe in the early 1990s, while her grandma beautifully crafted jewelry, the American pronunciation, jewelry, quilts, and other clothing. He also painted natural scenes, which should be painted. However, it's written here as paint. Michelle's passion for visual arts grew as she watched her grandmother daily, bringing her creativity to life. Her grandmother's influence was strong. She was fascinated by the way her grandmother's painted sketches beautifully transformed into intricate designs within a few hours of forming them. And this is my painting. It says, commit thy words unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Psalm 16 verse 3. When Michelle's grandmother retired in 1979 from being the proprietor of her painting company, Michelle realized that she could turn her painting hobby into a business opportunity. So she capitalized on it and stepped into the role immediately as her grandmother's successor. She bought some modern painting tools and new furniture to enhance the studio. Michelle spent a week decorating her studio with lots of attractive colors, giving it her own touch by ensuring that she had everything in the right space. She meticulously created a tribute area for her grandmother, where she hung an ancient painting that belonged to her grandmother. This was Michelle's grandmother's first award-winning painting. She engraved it with the words, "Grandma, you are the one that did the wait for me, and I'm going to make you extremely proud." After decorating the studio and slowly scanning around it, she screamed and shouted, "I did it! I have my own business." All right, guys. So, guys, you've seen the warning on my computer that my battery is low, but we're gonna go to charge it and we're gonna read the final parts so that we can just complete this whole story. What else? That's clear on chart. That's fine. So we're gonna read it so we can complete the whole story. All right, guys. So we have just completed the first part of the story, which is the main part of the story. Now it's time for us to read these parts, and this is to finalize the story. Then we can have a free talk if you guys wish for that. All right. So we have the word own, then os. So the O here makes the O sound. So we here put os, two S together, one sound, put os, boss. And your boss is actually your manager. The boss is the person that you call your manager. So the person that is in charge or the person that is the one that is running the company, you call that part the person your boss. Some people would refer to boss as anybody who's leading them. They would call that person their boss, right? So in the terms of organizations, groups, you can call your leader your boss also. That person who's in charge is your boss. Our next word, we have cook and the small word or call. And you know what it means to call. So when we call, it simply means that we are actually like crying out, or you can say that you give like something specific, like a name to an animal or to something. You can use that to refer to it as a call. And when you give something or someone a name. Okay, another way you can use call is to say that you basically when you reach out to someone, when you contact them, you can refer to that just call them too. All right. And the next word is a. We have a long E sound, d, and the Y at the end makes an E sound. So we hear lead, and lady, lady. Who's a lady? A lady is a woman. That's another name for a woman. Lady. It's another name that we call a woman. Lady. Lady. All right. What other word do we need to learn here? This word said. The AI in pain says A with the A with the sound, the I stays silent. But instead, the AI actually makes a weird sound. Right? You do not hear neither the A nor the I making the sound. Instead, we hear E. We hear ed, said. And that's a word that we should learn by sight if you didn't. AR in a lot of words make the sound air. So we hear to is tails. So our root word is tear, and then we add s, tails. This tears in this story refers to the water that comes from your eyes. In the story, that's the one that we are using. This tear does not mean like when you rip something or when you pull something apart. Instead, this tears is the one where you have that water trickling down your eyes, and that would come as a result of you crying. Our next word we have you, o, the o makes the long a sound, so we have you, all, and then ing green. So we have roll and in rolling, rolling. Our next word we have do, ow. So we have the OW, ow. So we have do, ow, down, down. The next word in I, basically the EYE says I. That's the song that we hear from EYE here, I. Then we add the S sound, eyes. And remember the S here makes it sound like Z. So the eyes. We don't say eyes. We don't make a sound for the S. Instead, we say eyes. All right, guys. If you have all that together, then we can assume of that. Our next word, N, true. I'm going here, true. And then here, here is a short song we hear here, and then we hear me, and then we hear oh. So the E here is actually silent. And then we hear this word by itself. We hear sh and it, like the rhyme it in the word lip. So we hear N, true, A, so we hear entry, then we hear true, and then we hear and then we hear me, and then we hear So entrepreneur, this word is entrepreneur, entrepreneur. So N, true, A, so we enter, then we have true, then the E here is a sound, entrepreneur, and then here me, the E silent, and then here we also X. So the word is entrepreneur, entrepreneur, and then here ship. When you put it together, we hear entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship. So the word is entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship. Our next word, book, or making the sound or. and then we hear read. So we hear world, world, world. And the final word is weird. So we have the AI. See the AI here now makes the A sound like in paint. So the I is silent. So we hear A. So ale, ale. And then once we can call the word wheel, we add the ed. So we hear wheeled, wheeled. The ed makes the sound. So wheeled. All right. So let's do the vocabulary for those words. What is entrepreneurship? So entrepreneur, when you become an entrepreneur, it simply means that you are a business person. You are a businessman or a businesswoman, right? You are like a tycoon. Some persons would say you are a tycoon, right? Or you are a trader. All these we can use to say entrepreneur. So entrepreneurship now, on the other hand, would simply be that process of you actually having the skills and the knowledge that you have developed them in a way that you are now able to become that businessman or that businesswoman. So it will be where you actually set up your own business. So entrepreneurship, that is where you're able to use these skills and knowledge that you have in order to set up your own business. So when you are into entrepreneurship, you're actually taking financial risk, right? You're actually taking a financial risk. So some of us, that's something that we want to venture into, while some of us, we rather work with someone else. So entrepreneurship, that's where you create your own business. You take on that activity of setting up the business and you hope to gain in your business or to profit, and you will be taking on financial risk. The world, we should know the meaning for the word world because all of us we live in the world. So we definitely can tell what the world is, right? So guys, should I do the meaning for the word world? I should do it. You know why? Because I have to even think of it how to really put it in context to make you understand it. So the world is actually the earth and all of the planets and all those things put together, the whole celestial body. That is what we call the world. So all the countries, the earth, or the planets, those celestial bodies and all that put together, we call that the earth. Whale, it's a loud cry. So this whale is not the animal. This is a loud cry. This whale is a loud cry. So whenever somebody wails, it's when they make a loud cry. All right? If you got all those guys, then let's read through this. I'm confident that you're able to do this. Let's go. I am my own boss. Call me boss lady, she said, with tears rolling down her eyes. Entrepreneurship to the world, she wailed. Wow. Let's read that one more time, guys. And let's really read it in the way that it should be read to really express it in a way that you can really understand what she's saying. I am my own boss. Call me boss lady, she said, with tears rolling down her eyes. Entrepreneurship to the world, she willed. All right, guys, what do you think of that? He said, call me boss lady. Call me boss lady. What do you think of that? What do you think of that, guys? When she said, I am my own boss. Call me boss lady. With tears rolling down her eyes. Entrepreneurship to the world, she willed. Guys, what does that mean for you when somebody says, call me boss lady? So they're saying, call me the lady that is in control. Call me the lady that is running everything, the lady that is running the whole operation, the ruler. Call me that. So I guess she was really happy. And those tears, they were happy tears. What do you guys think? The fact that she said, call me boss lady, and she was saying, I'm my own boss. I can imagine she felt really proud of herself. And with those tears rolling down her eyes, that helps us to feel her emotions, to feel how she felt. I think that she was so happy and they were all tears of joy, right? To see when you have accomplished something, this is what it can bring you to. It can bring you to a feeling of joy where you're able to just express that by shedding those happy tears. You know, like when people get married, you would see them crying. It's not that they're crying because they're hurt. They're crying because they are feeling a boost of happiness. They are so elated that it brings tears to their eyes, right? Because you would see them cry, and while they're crying, you would see them laughing or smiling. That's happy tears. And I can imagine how she looked while she was doing that, or saying all this. And she said entrepreneurship to the world, which means she was so happy to own her own business. So she was here saying, my business to the world, or she was here saying, getting into setting up your own business to the world, which means that this is something that she needed to share with others. Guys, look at that. Would you love that day to come when you can have that to say? Let me know, guys, in the comment section. So get active now in the comment section because now it's time for us to answer any questions that you have. Sassy says, oh, she wants to talk. Please discuss can and can't pronunciations. Okay, can and can't. Okay. So, uh, hold on. Let me write it on screen. So the word can, so we have cook and the small word that we have been seeing in other big words. And then we have can't, could, and need. Right. So when we have can't now, it's could and then we hear need. So the sound here we're hearing, it's like we're hearing not, but we're hearing the short form for not. So we hear need, need. So what we're hearing is actually k, a, ka, and then need, can't, can't. All right. Let me know if you got it, Sassy. So we hear ka and need, can't, can't. So can't is actually separated like this, ka and need, can't. Always remember any word that is pronounced has this in it. This is a short form for not. Okay, it's the O that is missing in the middle. So you would say need, need, making the sound for N and the sound for T. Need. So you hear can't, can't. All right. So ka, need, can't. So can and can't. Can is when you have the ability to do something. and you're able to do it. So you're able or you have the ability to get it done. But can't is when you are not able or you do not have the ability to get it done. I hope that helped you, Sassy. All right. So, for example, I can read. I can also write. I can speak. I can jump. I can play. Now, I can't fly. I can't fly. That's not something that I can do. So I can't fly. All right. So can't is something that you cannot do. For example, I can't fly. I can't drive a truck. I can't do my makeup properly. So I can't do my makeup properly. So it doesn't mean that I cannot do makeup, right? But to do it at the best, I can't do it at the best. So it means that I cannot do my makeup properly. All right. So sometimes when you say something, it doesn't mean that you cannot do it. But when you add the word properly to it, it will mean that you cannot do it so well. Okay. So you can say, I cannot do my makeup properly. I cannot ride a bike properly. So you can do it, but you can't do it like how professionals would do it or how other persons might do it at the best standard. You cannot do that. All right, let's see what else Sassy want to talk about. Do you think you understand those, Sassy? If you need me to give more example, let me know. Tips for improving spoken English. What are some of the things that you do when you want to improve your English? So we're gonna free talk on that now. So now it's time for us to free talk, guys. And that's Sassy's free talk questions. She wants to know what are some of the things that I would say to you guys in terms of improving your um, spoken English skills or your communication skills when it comes to speaking. So, one of the things that I would say is that in order for you to improve your speaking skills, you have to practice. You cannot speak without practicing. That's why I encourage you guys to come up on the screen so that we can free talk and so that we can, have conversations in a way that it allows me to practice. With practice, we definitely become perfect because you get to have that opportunity where you can be corrected. And once you get the opportunity to be corrected, then it means that you will get the right pronunciation. Your mistakes can be spotted, and with your mistakes being spotted, you'll be able to get the right pronunciation, and then that person can listen to you to see if your pronunciation is correct, and then correct it again until you are pronouncing it correctly or very close to the correct pronunciation. And that is one way that you can really develop your speaking in any language that you want to learn. I would tell you also to listen a lot to speakers of the language, right? I would not tell you to listen to any particular speaker because all the speakers of the language would speak it differently in terms of their accents, all right? So their accents might be different, but what you're striving for is to anyone who can speak English to understand what you're saying. And in order for anyone to understand what you're saying in English, you must have that pronunciation where you're able to really pronounce the word in such a way that it becomes clear to the person that is listening. So a lot of the times, a lot of persons who want to learn English, they want to learn the American pronunciation. Not everyone can can understand American pronunciation at once, right? So what I would say to you is to learn like a neutral accent pronunciation. I speak a neutral accent pronunciation, and you can find lots of other English speakers who would speak a neutral accent pronunciation, which means our accent is neither British or English pronunciation. It's somewhere in between. And with that, if you learn that way of speaking using a neutral accent, it will become very easy for anybody to speak English to understand what you're saying. My next tip is to always speak slowly, right? You do not speak slowly in terms of dragging your words. So you do not go like this. My name is, and I, no, that's not the way. You speak at a pace where your brain can allow you to think about what you're saying carefully and be able to put it in the words that you wish to speak, right? So speak at a slow pace or at an average pace in between, right? Do not speak at a fast pace and then you cannot control your words. You need to be able to control your words because remember, because it's your second language, you would have to think of what you're saying to say a lot of the things that you're saying. So you need to speak at a pace that you can manage thinking and bringing out that thinking in a cohesive manner, which means you bring it out in a manner where it's accurate and where all the things are connected together, right? In a whole fashion, not piece by piece and piece by piece, so that the person cannot really put it together easily. All right. So that would be one of the next ones. Keep a moderate pace when you're speaking. How can I understand you're a native person when native us people speak fastly, can't? Or how can you understand when native speakers are speaking very fast, using the words can and can't? I would say that you would have to listen a lot to some expressions that are given using can and can't, so that in listening to those, you're able to automatically pick up the word can and can't when the native speakers are speaking, right? So try your best to listen to a lot of videos that has that expression in it, because for the Americans, the way that they speak, sometimes you may not um, be able to pick it up right up like quickly um, at the same time that that's what they're saying. However, some persons, if you are actually exposed or have to visual when speaking, as in you can see them while they're speaking, they would use hand gestures. So, like if they can do something, they would more point to themselves, or they would keep rolling their hands around when they can do it. But when they can't do it, you'll see them do a sign, like a wave sign, like they're saying no, like towards it, that, I can't do that, like that expression. So that can help you to know when they're using can and can. But in the case where you cannot see them, I would say to just listen a lot to videos or so that might have that expression, so that it would help you to develop a keen ear, an ear that, clearly, carefully listen out for that expression. So that would be one of the things that we should do. Just listen to a lot of can and can sentences or stories that has that expression in it. So after time, you're able to just automatically understand whenever the expression is being used, or you're automatically able to hear it whenever it is being used. Hey guys, any more questions, guys? Let me know as we speak up. Any more questions? Please let me know also if you were able to read what was on the screen, if you were able to read most of it fluently. Let me know that, guys. If you remember the words, the vocabulary, or if you're still struggling. Because one of the things I do, if you're still struggling with some of the vocabulary and you're able to share some of the words that you're still struggling with the vocabulary or pronunciation, I can always use the words back in other stories so that you can, or the upcoming stories, so that you can get the practice. So let me know some of the words that you're still struggling with. Comment them in the comment section. If not, you can leave them in the comment section of the video and I can reuse those words in stories to come so that you can have them for practice. Or what I can do short videos on them so that you can have them to practice. I can do short videos using like the words in 2 or 3 sentences so that you can practice. So let me know any words that you're struggling. Oh, Sassy. Oh, Sassy is a great tip and advice. Yes, Sassy. I think those are the best tips for learning English when you're speaking, especially when it's not your first language. Right? It's would be a great thing to really zoom in on these areas. Once you're able to do that, you should be able to practice. And once you practice, I can see you being extremely well. Yes, Sassy. So, Sassy, sometimes you should come up and basically do some of the free talk sessions, or you can come up and read and so on. That would be great, you know. I know a lot of persons who are learning English, a lot of them, they don't like to come on screen to read, or they do not like to even hold conversations with other persons. And that's because some of them, they are very careful or they are so shy. Some of them. Another thing is that some of them, they do not want others to judge them in terms of their speaking. But the thing is, you see, native speakers, they would understand you, whether you speak the language using um, proper grammar or not, they would understand you. For example, I can understand any person that is learning English. And the reason why, even if your grammar is not on point, your pronunciation is not on point, I can understand it. And it's not everything that I would understand, but based on what you're saying, we can understand the word that you might be having problems with, and that might be because of the context that the word is being used in. So we would understand that, hey, this is the word we're trying to call or pronounce, and we can basically give you the correct pronunciation. Also, a lot of us, despite our formal language is English, and that's what we use on an everyday basis for school and all these things, we have the interference of our home language, which is the broken form of English. So, for example, here in the Caribbean, our broken form of English, we call it patois. That is where we basically do not follow the grammar rules, or we cut short the words and so on. So it's completely like persons who are learning the language. So hence the reason we can understand the problems that you guys would face when you're learning the language, right? Are you really scared to join video talk? Oh, remember you're not showing your video. You don't have to show your camera. So it's fine. You can just it's only your voice I'll be hearing, right? Oh, you use an AI app for conversation. Okay. Okay. No problem. That's not bad. That's a cool thing. I mean, AI is helping a lot of persons these days to learn English and other languages, and that's really good that you can use the app. But with practice, it will become, oh, chat GPT. Okay, nice. It will become very easy for you. Yes. So for example, Sassy, in our broken English language, if I want to say I want some food, I would say, give me some food. Give me some food, right? So you hear the difference in the language at this time. And that's how a lot of persons who are learning the language, how they would use the language. They would not use the formal way of saying things. They would insert a lot of words sometimes where you are not looking for the word. So it's the same thing with our home language, which is the broken form of English. We just insert words anywhere. So we say, give me some food. That would mean the same thing as I want some food. Right? So we can understand you guys. It's like someone you would ask them, have you eaten dinner? They would say, have you take dinner? Have you take dinner? And we can understand that. It means the same thing as you asking, have you eaten your dinner? Right? So when you say, have you taken your dinner? We will understand that you're simply saying, have you eaten your dinner? Right? Or have you had dinner? You would understand that that's what you say. Okay? So the misplace of the words or using other words, it would not be a problem for us because of the fact that we have our non-native way of speaking, where we speak using the broken form of English as our home language, and we call it Creole or Patois, right? And it's fun to learn. It's fun to learn, right? It's fun to learn, but it caused a lot of struggle for us when we have to learn English, as in the formal setting. It sometimes causes problems for us, especially with the grammar. We would struggle a lot with the grammar in um in our region just because of that. So you find that despite we using English every day as our official language, there are persons who struggle a lot with the grammar aspect of it. And mind you, there are lots of children or a lot of persons who struggle too with reading the language, right? So you see the way that I decode the words, breaking them down. It's the same way that we have to teach the children that same pattern here in our schools so that they can learn the language. That's where you teach them phonics, the English phonics, the different songs that the 44 songs in English, and then you teach them like blends, you teach them the digraph, the trigraphs, the consonant blends, you also teach them the diphthongs, and you teach them like rhymes or endings for words, the prefixes, the suffixes, and so on, so that they can develop the whole language. Right? So it's the same challenge. And yeah, so just keep practicing something and sure it's gonna get better with practice. And just start getting a bit brave, where you start being okay with your voice being heard and not being seen, but your voice being heard, so that you can really do your best in terms of using the language. I'm sure you will do extremely well. Okay, so if you guys have any more questions, if there are words that you still struggle with, please guys let me know by commenting in the comment section, in the comment section, so I can know what area you're really facing difficulty with, what words you still have problems following, so that I can help you to cover it. All right. Thank you so much. Guys, keep practicing. And definitely, Sassy, I'll post a short video today, so you guys can start practicing. So, guys, I want to wish you a good day. If there are no more questions, I want to wish you a good day, and I hope that you will enjoy the rest of your day. All the best for the day, and whether it's night, it's noon, it's morning, and whatever you're going to do, have a fabulous one today, a super, super fabulous one. Do your best and enjoy your time. If you're going to sleep, then sleep well. All right, guys. See you guys later. If you do have any more questions, and I see if there are, please then I'll answer. Oh, Sassy, can I get your email ID? I will share you the book. Okay, so I will share the book with you. The word power made easy. We can discuss in short with this. Okay, yeah. Yes, you should share it with me. Word power made easy. No problem. Sassy, you can share the book with me. But there's a lot of videos on here with phonics and with vocabulary and stuff like that. Because when the channel originally started, I was doing a lot of things on it to cater for early learners, again, like children at the age of 4 years up until like 10 years. So if you go back to a lot of the older previous videos, you can really get a lot of foundation in the phonics and be able to practice those. So that's one of the things that I would want you guys to do. Go back to some of the older videos, watch them if you're struggling with phonics, so that you can really learn the songs and how to use the songs in English, so that you can really master the language. Right? So go back to those videos. I have videos there from since 2020. If, as you would notice, that you would see like there are videos, 200 and something videos on the channel itself. So try to go back to some of those videos to really learn the foundation of English. And that would help me in building. A lot of them are short videos. They're not extremely long videos that you can learn from. There are stories there too. And those stories are actually decoded, where I have breaking down all the words in the short stories and so on. So you can really build up your English. And these are things you can practice on an everyday basis. Even when I don't come live, you can practice them. Yes, Sassy. Sassy, my email is actually in the in the video, My email is here on the channel. So you can go to About Me. And if you go to About Me, you will see my email. You will see my email. You would see an Amazon book that I have there for kids. You would also see that there is a teacher store where you can download worksheets. If you have kids and you're teaching them English, or you yourself, you can complete some of those worksheets. So you would see those two in their About Me page. You would see my PayPal, you'll see my email there, and you'll see the Instagram page there also, because I'm also on Instagram, guys. So, and the TikTok page. However, you cannot use TikTok because you're in India, but you can find all those there on About Me. All right. But however, I would drop my email. So I'm gonna drop my email in the chat right now, so you can get it. So you don't have to go back and you don't have to go back to all those things. So I'll just drop it in the chat. Just let me do that now. So you have it there. Yeah, in the chat. No. Let me drop the email in the chat for you guys. Guys, you did not tell me if you also like the new picture that you would see on the screen. Please let me know. So this is my email, guys. All of you who wish to email, read online. Uh, all right, guys. So I just dropped my email in the chat so you guys can see the readonwards@gmail.com. So you guys can email me at that email, readonwards@gmail.com. Okay, Sassy says there's an app named Elsa, which helps to guide pronunciation using microphone. It will compare the wrong pronunciation and say the correct one. All right, nice. Okay, that's cute. That sounds like a cute app. That sounds like a cute app. Yeah, but for English, I do not use any app, because being a speaker, a neutral accent speaker, and one that uses English every day formally as our official language, you know, I think English after a time just becomes natural to us. The only thing that we really struggle with still would be some stuff like sometimes because we use the British pronunciation for words, as in we use the British English because our country was once colonized by British. Because we use that English, then we have to always be careful of using the British pronunciation over the American pronunciation and also the British spelling over the American spelling. So I think that's one of the things that sometimes we have issues with as speakers from our land. And we have problems. All native speakers have problems with grammar. Okay, so don't ever get it that native speakers do not struggle with grammar. All native speakers they struggle with grammar. Right? Some may struggle more than others with grammar here and there. So always remember that. And guys, those of you who have subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing. And remember our friends, our new friends who subscribe, guys. So thank you so much for being here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, guys, feel free to subscribe. We appreciate you subscribing. So Sassy, I look forward to the book. Thank you so much for your gesture on that to some exercise, please. Some exercise are clear. Oh, in Elsa's app, some are paid and some are free. Okay. Well, on my pay teachers store, the exercises, some are free too, and some are paid. Yeah. But some of them they are just actually bookwork, basically bookwork that you would do. All right. So guys, be sure to keep reading and do what you gotta do to ensure that you practice, to make sure that your English is perfecting daily. It is really refining